morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever in the cosmos you may be, whatever time it is. I'm Rocken Locken with Pleiadian Late Night Talk, coming to you live on the Oregon coast, west coast of the USA, Pacific Northwest. I'm joined tonight, of course, by my lovely co-host, 9 hours up the coast from me, Ravishing Raquel Toombs in Vancouver, BC, in the suburbs of Vancouver, BC. Raquel, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, Larry. How are you?
Oh, I'm just doing really, really groovy. A little bit better than since the last 2 seconds I talked to you here about 2 seconds ago. But I wanted to I want to let everybody know tonight some of the things we were going to be talking about. It really seems like with some of the shifts lately that people have been getting that sense of a longing for home again. And every now and then we seem to see an upward trend with that. And what we want to talk about tonight is that longing for home, and that home is really within. It's really connecting with your soul. We're also going to talk a little bit about discovering the new world in the astral realms and how our physical vessel is affected by that, and just how these energies are affecting people in general. And this is how we do it on the PEP. We just wing it. We go from there. We don't exist in time. I'd like to thank a couple people before we get started. I'd like to thank Leah Shapiro, a.k.a. Leah Alien Tribe, group leader, the Admiral of the Mothership Pleiadians group that Raquel and I both admin for. I'd also like to thank all our star brothers and sisters in the groups as well as out in the galaxy. And with that being said, Raquel, you know, you and I were talking earlier about that longing for home, and a lot of people get that confused, like home is out there in the cosmos, and while their soul may be from the cosmos, really that home is within, and connecting those two parts. And Toomsy Woomsy, I'd be curious to hear what you have to say. Never at a loss for words, are you?
What? Well, I know that it's very common among all of us, excuse me, to have never really felt like we belonged, never really fit into society, never really felt like that we belonged with our family or anywhere for that matter. I know for me, ever since I was young, I had a longing for home, and I never knew what home, it's like, how can I long for home when I don't know where my home is, right? And so basically, that's what this process is about. This process is remembering, that we are purely spiritual. This process is remembering that we are divine. We're remembering that. So that's what home is. A home is remembering your true essence, right? Your true nature, your true essence, your soul, the divinity of your soul. So it's it's definitely a process, and it seems to kind of go in waves where the energy will be really intense. A lot of people will lose their focus. A lot of people will feel really irritable. There seems to be more conflicts that come up in people's lives, also in the groups and stuff. And we all seem to kind of experience that at the same time. And it seems like it's those times, those overwhelming times when we're affected by everyone else's energy, that it's really prevalent that a lot of people have that feeling. And I think that it's because as we go forward in this process, we connect more and more to higher self, and then there's times where we get completely overwhelmed and we get bogged down. Even though our vibrations may have been, steadily high for a fair amount of time, that drama and that negativity and stuff, it just overwhelms us and brings our vibrations back down, and then we're more, kind of in lower self, and we're not as in touch with our soul. So kind of, it kind of ebbs and flows. There's times when we don't feel, a longing for home. We feel quite happy because that's when we're truly in touch with our soul. And then, shit will come up, we'll feel overwhelmed, and then we kind of disconnect a little bit, disconnect from our soul a little bit more, and then we feel empty again, and we feel, oh my gosh, we got that longing for home, what the heck, right? So basically, it's just, and that's what this whole process is. It's going home, finding your home within, finding your true essence, remembering it. So it's definitely, a process, and there are going to be times where people are going to feel like, I've had enough, I want to give up, and that's totally natural, that's totally normal, because we're all going through so much right now, on every level, like emotionally, mentally, physically, like just on every level. So
You know, and not to interrupt you, but don't you think too, like you're mentioning when we're going through that, doesn't it seem like the people, especially that we deal with in our groups on Facebook and friends on Facebook, doesn't it seem like we're kind of going through those lulls together? Like there will be these days where we're just all like, ugh, and then everybody, then the next day, everybody will be in a kind of a buzzy, good mood and happy. It seems like we're starting to really synchronize with this. Do you notice that too?
My gosh, do we ever? Do we ever? Yeah, everybody, we're like, we're just,
We're
it's amazing.
PMSing
We are,
together.
oh, we're so connected. It's amazing, yeah, because we're all feeling pretty well the same things at the same time. Some people are just feeling it a little bit more severe than others, but I find that most of us, we're all, and it's very, very apparent when, someone makes a post about it, about how they're feeling, and, they get like 100 replies, and oh my gosh, yes, I'm feeling that too. Yes, I'm feeling this too. So we're definitely all affected by each other's energies because we are all one, right? So yeah, I also notice, if there's negativity, a negative post or a negative person or whatever, especially in the groups. It affects everybody, like big time, big time. Everybody is highly affected by it, and it takes a while to, it's so important to keep the vibrations high and to keep it positive, because all it takes is just a little bit of negativity getting in there, and all of a sudden everybody's affected by it. So we got to be really, really, careful about that, right?
It's true, and I really, more than any time in my life, feel that. I might have heard that in years past, that, one bad apple can spoil the whole bunch, be like, whatever. But all it takes is one little kind of halfway negative post, and even the people that it's not bugging directly that were in that post, it really seems like then that energy, as we go on a couple hours later, really is starting to mess with other people too and make them act strange. And just kind of, they don't know why, they're just kind of, and it really just kills the mood. I mean, it really takes one person, I mean, every group of friends ever has got to have that one that can kind of be the mood killer. And it just seems like it can be anything like that, any kind of post of that nature. Here, my microphone wasn't close to me, but anything like that. And that's why it's so high. Like, I've always known it's important to keep the vibration high, but I'm really getting full of that feeling that, yes, because it's such a trickle-down effect, don't you think? And it's not even so much hardly anymore what somebody says. It's their undertones and intent with what they're saying,
It's the energy behind it, yeah. And also, because we're all reconnecting again here and now, and we all, there's so many of us that, that just love each other. Like, it's family, right? And with me, I will do anything I would die for my family. I would do anything and everything to protect my family. So if, someone's being, if someone's being cruel or abusive or whatever towards any of my family members, whether it be my physical family, my soul family, whatever, I'm going to defend it. I'm going to jump in there. And it's gonna bother me. It's gonna affect me. So the fact that we're all getting closer and closer now, if we see someone, treating our family member terribly, then of course it's going to completely affect us, and then that's just a chain reaction because we're such a big family. So that also, just affects all of us.
I think more too. Also, we're in sync with each other, stick up for each other, and I'm not going to use that F word. I promised the boss Leah that I would try to watch my language on air to not lower the vibration. But I mean, when somebody's not funking with that flow with us, I mean, and it just, I mean, and they're messing with us, they're starting problems. I mean, we want to defend each other. You're right. We would die for our family. And it's like not even a sacrifice. It's like it's just something innately we would do. And so the vibration has to be kept high. And that's just kind of where I'm at right now. I know that's where you're at. And most people that we deal with, the other admins, that's where they're at. And so it's just important to us. It's nothing personal. Everybody's got their own growth. But understand, I mean, we just... be cool. I mean, really, is it any more difficult to say than that,
Yeah, well, I don't know. I guess some people have, some people are also very angry. Some people are very, also, like, they're very, when they first awaken or whatever, like, I mean, I didn't have, like, the anger thing when I first, mine was such abrupt, weird awake, I got picked up and unplugged and just boom, shaken up. And I didn't have the anger thing. I just kind of surrendered to all of it. I'm like, okay, whatever's happening. But I hear that it's quite common for people when they're first awakening or even a little ways into it, that there's a lot of anger because they start seeing things that they never saw before. And it really, like, for example, with me with chemtrails, there's been times where, so one time I was up at the grocery store with my mom, and I looked outside. There's big X's all over the skies, and I'm standing there looking up, and all these people are walking around, and their kids are out there, and they're drinking coffee at their Starbucks and whatever, and nobody knew, nobody even looked up, and I was so mad, and I just wanted to scream, like, wake up, what the hell, right?
Exactly, totally.
Yeah,
You couldn't have got one person to look up to save your life.
Oh, and even if they did, they would have said, "Oh, it's just a contrail." But I mean,
Exactly.
that's just a whole other story. But I can see where people are coming from, because when they are first waking up, they're angry about a lot of things, and which is, anger is good as far as if you condense it and you say, okay, I'm angry about this, so I'm going to put my anger into this and change it in a positive way. I'm angry about GMOs, so I'm going to investigate GMOs, or I'm angry about chemtrails, so I'm going to put my effort or whatever, and do something about it, right? But when it comes to anger and then just throwing it up all over some people, other people, that's not right.
That's where
right?
the hippie movement went wrong. You get these advocates, and they don't think it through, and they're acting out of that emotion. They don't even see the big picture. They don't even realize. They think it's so bad, but they don't even realize just how messed up it really is. But yet they're focusing in on one thing. They're in that advocate kind of a mode that I guess was necessary at one point. But I've kind of always known the truth. On N5D tonight, they had mentioned 9/11, of course, the day it happened. I mean, I wasn't buffaloed. I knew the second it happened. And it's hard when you know the truth. You know what? It is so difficult when you know the truth. And it's really just, it's tough, and people get angry. Oh, these GMOs, we get it in the group all the time. Anything, not GMOs necessarily, but anything. Oh, Nibiru's coming. Oh, the dark forces, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. And it's like, even if any of us were ever even there, which a lot of us ever weren't, I mean, we're so beyond that. We know all this. We know you can tell us the worst thing that's going to happen. The planet's going to blow up, whatever. Well, write me when it does. I mean, it's just, and they've got to try to understand, too, that there's more than, people have been through that before, and they need to listen to people, and, there's more that goes on than what their peripheral vision can see,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay.
That was another Rocken Locken rant, but basically, yeah,
Yeah, it was. Wow, thank you.
That was I went on a rant stroll there, but no, seriously, we love them, and that comes into our patience and part of our growth too, to help guide and just and deal with that. But the synchronicities are great that are going on, and but that home, like, to get back to that, people you mentioned something that I have heard on Pleiadian videos and Starseed videos about not knowing where home was, right? You just described growing up feeling like that. And don't you think that maybe instead of all the way out there, necessarily that home is within, it's the connecting of the souls, like kind of we were talking about in the pre-show. It's like connecting with your own soul, coming back to your own soul.
We discussed that.
Yeah.
Do you want me to say that? Do you want to discuss it again?
No, I don't. No. We're kind of, well, you know how it is. We go in and out of interdimensional time here on the PEP. Yeah. But and then again, that's perfect synchronicity, because that ties into these astral realms that we're dealing with, right? It's like not only that, but it's our bodies are going through this ascension. I mean, of course, I mean, you're the most extreme case scenario I've heard, and I've talked to thousands of people. One other girl close, of course, that's in I won't mention her name, but in our circles. But yeah, exactly. In that, and at night, we're not remembering a lot of that. And the people that do astral travel, a lot of that's in the mind too. Space is both within and without, and our physical vessels are just. And I'd be curious, how in the hell have you? How have you been able to relax your body and things like that with all the different things that are going on with you. I mean, bone wise, structure. I mean, I've heard it all in our private talks. So
Um, well, what do you, I don't know, where do you want me to start?
it just, I mean, I remember talking to you in the days where you were just so, I mean, you were just dealing with this right away and your body was hurting. Okay, the body part of it. I mean, when you're having those extreme body pains, and how do you, I mean, how do
Okay,
you cope? How do you
let,
cope with it?
let me tell you a little bit about how it feels and stuff first, and I'll tell you how the things that I've learned to cope with it.
Okay.
You'll go through, like, for the people that maybe are just starting, or just starting to go through it. I know that I talked to some clown, I don't know, the other day, and he was experiencing the heart things, and I just assumed that everybody has already gone through that already, right? So I had to talk to him about, okay, this is what's happening. So you'll go through periods of time where your heart will race really, really fast, really fast. It's like, it feels like you're gonna have a heart attack. Other times it's pounding really hard and steady against your chest. Other times it feels like it's not even beating at all. I know people like me, I know myself, at the beginning of my process, my heart stopped a few times. 911 was here. And I've talked to one other person that's happened. Well, actually, probably 2 or 3 other people that's happened to. Their heart just totally stopped. So you're going to have, the pains in your chest and rapid heartbeat and stuff like that. That's your, if you don't have any heart problems, then that just usually signifies your heart chakra opening up more and more. I know a lot of people get that. It's a scary thing. Another thing would be when your chakras, I know with me, when my process started, my root chakra was the first. It just opened wide up. And so lots of weird sensations there. Felt like I had to go pee all the time. Sometimes I peed myself. Other times I'd run to the bathroom and nothing would happen. So I think people, like, the chakras just kind of spontaneously open. Like, they just start open and they start functioning really well all on their own. And then there'll be sudden and guided movements. You may be, maybe lying in bed on your side or something. All of a sudden you'll jump up, or all of a sudden you'll find yourself doing, crunches or sit-up, half sit-ups, crunches or whatever. You may, there's pains in the bones and in the muscles. I know that with me, like, I get it's like a hot uncomfortable pain, especially in my arms and legs. And if I don't just allow my body to move, like, I have to remind myself all the time to get out of my way and let my body move, because my body needs exercise. My body needs to move more than it has been, because for 20 years I was a heroin addict that basically overweight. I was, I think, 230 pounds. I was like totally overweight. I was sick mentally, physically, and I hardly ever exercised at all. So now our bodies are saying, you know what, it's time to get into shape. So there's going to be your bodies are going to do things that you're going to get out of your mind and just kind of allow your body to move as it needs to. And your body will tell you also what it needs. Like, I didn't know anything about anything really at the beginning of this, but I found that I found myself craving lemon water. I was drinking lemon water at the beginning. I found out that's good for detoxification, like detoxifying the body. Lavender oil, it's really good for sleep. Lavender oil and Epsom salts in a bath to ease the muscle pains. I found myself doing yoga and a lot of different stretching exercises I've never done before. I just followed along. That's what my body wanted to do, and I followed along. And it seems to ease a lot of the pain that you get, because I find that when I do just kind of listen to my body and let it go, it's almost like me and Janice laugh about it. It's our galactic chiropractor, because you'll just hear crack, 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 crack. Like, I mean, my neck and my jaw, oh, I just cracked right now. My neck and my jaw crack so much. I mean, Janice can hear it, like, from halfway across the room. She's like, oh God, don't do that, right? But you definitely, it's really important to listen to your body. Go out for walks. I know I've joked to Janice about this, saying, I wish I could bury myself in the earth. I wish I could just bury myself in the earth until this process is over, because it's just been, I don't know, it's just that so important to connect to the earth as well. And, for grounding, hug a tree, and but just really listen to your body. Take the time for you. really, really focus on you, and don't worry about it. Everything in your life is going to change. Everything in your life is going to change. So don't worry too much about, oh, I'm only sleeping this much, or I'm not eating this much, or your body is it's getting back to its natural state, which is health and wealth, right? So it'll guide you, and like we were talking earlier about alcohol, drugs, modified foods, fast foods, sugar, all that stuff. Smoking, that's what I'm working on right now. I mean, I just, I was lifted from, like, the desire and all the drug use and everything. That was all taken from me. I had no desire. That's all gone. So the last thing that I'm still smoking, and it's disgusting because my body is really sensitive to, like, I don't eat meat, I don't eat modified foods, I don't eat fast foods, I don't have dairy. Basically, it's fruits, vegetables, potato, stuff like that, right? So excuse me, it just comes a time where it's your body will just tell you, you know what? No more alcohol. If you're an alcoholic, well, too bad. Your spirit will just step in and say, no more. You're not going to do this to yourself anymore. You're not allowed to, right?
It's really a miracle, actually, when you think about it.
Yes, it is.
Geez, it's so. I think we're getting used to the thought of it now, but we would have given anything in the past. I mean, it's just incredible.
I know. I mean, I was wow. Like this is the last thing I ever thought would have happened. And quite often I'll be like, like, seriously, we're in a science fiction movie. Like, like people.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where it's even more than that. Our bodies, as we become lighter, we're almost going into an interdimensional cartoon sometimes. It's really a trip.
Well, people that are not, not awake or not as far along in the process or whatever, they, I can totally, like, they just look at it, they'd be like, what the hell? Like, what you guys are, but really, like, this is just, what's happening with so many people right now is just overwhelming, and it's like, even with me, with my, creative mind, I mean, my writer's mind or whatever, I never, I couldn't even have imagined this. I couldn't even have written this, like, it's just amazing.
Yeah, I wish some of those those late night phone calls we had like months and months ago when you were going through this could have been taped, like like you were turning into a bird and going to go to the zoo. I mean, we're not kidding here, ladies and gentlemen. It was really, and I've talked to probably 20,000 people, at least in a casual conversation over the year, no question. And Raquel's Ascension symptoms were the craziest, and I've heard of others close, but hers were so intense and so wild. And you couldn't make it up. She'd be a millionaire writing a book if she could have made this stuff up. She was having happen to her, and it was just, man. It was like, I was like at one point like, damn girl. Oh, I was like, whoa.
Well, Larry, you know what I did? Remember I was telling you how my heart stopped, and I stopped breathing all those times? Well, there was a couple of times I was lying, I'd lied down when it happened, but there was one time where I was sitting up on my couch, and I fell, landed on my head, and I was basically my back against the coffee table, my ass up in the air, and my heart was totally stopped, and I wasn't breathing. And my first thought was like, oh, great, the paramedics are going to come in. I'm just wearing like my nightie and my ass is up in the air. This is great.
Yeah, they think you probably OD'd or some shit. Yeah, right.
And also, the whole walking backwards like a crab and spinning around on the carpet. And wow.
Break dancing on acid. Only
standing on my head. Like, I mean, you're gonna think, like, I mean, I wasn't active for like over 20 years. All of a sudden, I don't know what that was all about, but I do have my old, oh my God, this is embarrassing. No, it's not. I never get embarrassed. I have my old notebook, and I'm pretty sure that there was a couple times where I just pressed record and kept it recording, and I'm scared to even look at it. I think I do have it.
Yeah, don't tell me that. You know how I am. I'll want to get it out there for ratings. But yeah, I know, man. I mean, one night you're like, they're coming to get me any second, any second, any second. And I started laughing to myself. And I remember getting off the phone, and the energies were really weird that night. And I'd mentioned that on another show. I started even tripping out a little bit again.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
yeah, it was so heavy that you felt that presence right on you, you know?
Oh yeah. Those long, what do you call it, those long ascension nights, the anxiety that you feel, you
Love
have
it.
that feel, you
That's
have
going
that
to be
feel.
a hit song someday, those long ascension nights. But yeah, go ahead.
No, but there's a feeling of, okay, of impending, okay, like the anxiety, but okay, something's going to happen. Like right now, I know it. I feel it. Something's going to happen. That feeling that something big's going to happen. Like right now. Oh my gosh. I remember saying it to my mom. Don't go to bed. Don't go to bed. You got to see it when it happens. She goes, what? What's going to happen? Is it
Mm-hmm.
who knows? But just stay here because something big's going to happen. I guarantee you.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I'm going to bed. Nothing big happened. Or maybe it did. Who knows? We just missed it.
Yeah, exactly. But totally, I'd even have people come stay. That if my kids were with their moms or something, I'd even have friends come over and stay and be like, "Man, no, dude, it's trippy." And then I went through that for a couple of years and didn't have any of these people on Facebook. And like you were going through it 3 times as hard and real quick, and it's like, oh man, I could feel it, and it was just like, oh my God, I was really worried about you. And it's like, wow, it's just
Well,
like, yeah,
well,
you were
also,
gonna.
Larry, I live on the 3rd floor. Okay, so that night that I called you, I was locked. I live on the 3rd floor. We'd been here. Mom had been seeing lights on the balcony because her room is, her windows faces the balcony. So she'd been seeing lights on the balcony for a few nights. Also, we had been hearing noises on the roof overhead, right,
No
of our
shit.
apartment building, and excuse me. And so that was kind of freaking us out. And the balcony rails, and it would kind of like click, click, clack, clack, and you'd hear things all the time. You'd hear things in the house too. Things would be moved and found in another place. But I was lying here, and all of a sudden there was a loud knock on my balcony door, on the glass door. Knock, knock, knock. And I couldn't move. I was paralyzed with fear. Paralyzed because there's no way, there's no access to it. There was nobody on my balcony. Nobody can get to it, right? The 3rd floor. I was paralyzed with fear, and I just lied here. My whole body just went, oh my God, oh my God, and I just lied there frozen. And then out of the corner of my eye, I saw a mouse run across the floor. Then I screamed and
Oh
jumped up and
God.
ran in my mom's bed with her. And it's like, oh my God, like really? I'm scared. I'm not terrified of a mouse. I can get up and scream and run, but then a knock on my balcony, I couldn't even move. So I go in Mom's room. And she's like, what happened? I told her, okay, there's a knock. She goes, yeah, and there's lights. She goes, don't go back out there. I said, no, I have to go back out there because the noises on the roof were very heavy. And she's like, well, no, don't. But I just knew whatever it was, I had to go back out there. And that's when I phoned you. I picked up the phone and I called you.
Yeah, a couple times that night. I think you did before you laid down. Then after that shit happened, then the knock. You called me about the knock. Yeah, and I always wanted a big sister. I'm an only child that I could have came up from behind and tapped you on the back.
Oh.
Hey, Raquel. Yeah, no shit. Yeah.
No, but you know what that was? That was the fear that I had to lose. That was the fear that I had to lose. That was because in the house, the process that I went through when my heart stopped and I stopped breathing, I could feel, like, I've always been sensitive to energy. I could always communicate with spirit. I could always pick up on things, but I could hear the like tap 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 on the walls. I could feel the feeling of something coming closer and closer. I just figured it was death, so I kept my eyes closed. Right, I wasn't gonna open my eyes. I didn't want to see him. And then once I started kind of hearing the noises, my heart would start, slowing down. It kind of happened at the same time, whatever. I don't know exactly how it worked, happened at the same time. So then after the first or second time it happened, I realized, okay, well, now I'm dying again. Okay. And I figured, like, what the hell's going on? If I'm going to die, okay, I'm ready to die. Just take me. That's fine. But so I started to recognize, okay, then I'd get a really heavy feeling, and then quite often I'd feel someone holding my hand, right? I could feel my hand being held, comforted or whatever. So that night when that happened, my mom said, don't go back out there. I got you on the phone, and I stood with 1 foot, 1 foot in the house, 1 foot on the balcony, and the noises were overhead, and I knew whatever it was, I had to face it. So I sat down on the chair out there, and I said to you, I love you, Larry, and if something happens, please tell whatever. I gave you a last message to give anyway. And then
That's right.
Then I hung up the phone, and then all of a sudden I started getting that really heavy feeling again, and then my heart started slowly slow down, and my breathing, and then I just kind of then I thought in my head, well, shit, this is the exact same thing that was going on inside that's happening outside now. So whatever the noises are, well, whatever. And then all of a sudden my hand, I could feel someone holding my hand, and then I just kind of slumped over in the chair, and then the noises got louder for a second, and then they receded, and then they were gone, and then I stood up, came back in the house, and so I guess that was just, I don't know, I guess that was my fear that I had to face, and I knew I had to face it, and I did, right?
So did I understand you right? You heard those noises outside too, right?
Just at night they were outside. That's yeah.
Just like you had heard them inside, the same kind of sound though.
Yes, but the ones outside were a lot more like they were noises like it sounded like something, a few things heavy on the roof, like running around or whatever, right? Whatever it was heavy. But it wasn't so much the noises that were the same. Like they kind of were, as far as things expanding and contracting and making noise like that.
Right.
But once I sat out there, then I got that feeling that I had gotten every time inside. I heard the noises, which were more subtle inside, and could feel the energy. And then my body just started doing the same thing, like the heart, slowing down and almost stopping, and then my breathing, and then not breathing. And then I kind of slumped over. Then I recognized, okay, well, wait a minute. This is this. I'm going through the same process. It's outside this time. Right? So, and I think that was the last time that I went actually through that. But I
actually found them to be more subtle outside. For me, it seemed to me like they were louder inside, as weird as that sounds. But it sounded like it was coming from outside. But when I go outside, it was there, but not. Seemed like it was calmed down a little. I don't know, or maybe it was other sounds I was hearing. I don't know.
Well, I'm not quite sure. But the first thing that came to me about that was that as far as higher vibrational beings, if they were higher vibrational beings, like light beings or whatever, they have they have an impact on the density down here, right? They will the molecular structure of things, it will be affected. Like I know that my water bottle that I drink out of, it'll be sitting on the coffee table. And, it's not like it's just taken out of the fridge or anything. It'll be sitting on the coffee table, and it'll just do that. Just every once in a while, just by itself, right?
Yes, exactly. And yes.
Higher vibrational beings, will affect the molecular structure of things. So walls, the drywall or whatever kind of, expanding or whatever, the metal balcony rail in your car, like everything, right? So you could be hearing noises. That's most likely at least that's what came to me, is that's what it is. The clicking, the clacking of the balcony railings, the noises on the roof, that's just expanding, contracting, whatever. That's what I got off that right away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's not like your typical in the past having a bottle that's a little crushed in and then it pops. This
oh,
is
no.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It's different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and quite often in the kitchen, I'm always hearing stuff. I gotta go pee. Can you talk or something?
Yeah, definitely I can. And definitely, speaking of peeing, water vibrations. You hear sounds in water.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Raquel's gonna have to pause for the cause right now, and I'd like to take this opportunity as your delicious DJ, Rocken Larry Locken, your host with the most from coast to coast, giving everybody a big toast out there. I'd like to welcome you to come join us on Facebook at Pleiadian Express Productions, a Facebook page. We're also on Google and YouTube. We also have our sister page that's on Google and YouTube and Facebook, the Pleiadian Light Grid Project, as well as, like I'd mentioned before, Leah Shapiro's Pleiadians group that we're all an admin in, well, me and Raquel are, of course. And most of the people that do these shows on here with us, the great beautiful head of the UK group, Victoria Pleiadian, super consciousness being from Electra. She's an admin as well. Let's see, who else can I get a shout out to? My twin flame, Sif Gunner's daughter, is also an admin in the group Pleiadians, and she also runs Icelandic Pleiadian. So we're just one big happy Pleiadian family here. And it's like this one time I had this picture of Raquel, and it looked like it'd make a great shirt. Instead of Public Enemy's Fear of a Black Planet in the late 80s, this one could say Fear of a Pleiadian Planet. So, and we want to push that envelope, and you know, we welcome all Starseeds to come on and talk. And I wonder how much longer I can keep rambling.
I'm here.
Oh, hi. Hey. But speaking of that, that ties in. Now you're talking about hearing sounds.
Yeah.
I know Sif and I talk about it a lot. We pick it up in water too. You pick it up in the water in the shower and stuff like that, or the faucet going.
I don't know. I don't shower.
Okay, well, but you know what I mean. You hear those vibrations, those sounds more
in the bathtub?
Yeah, in the bathtub even. I don't know, splashing bubbles. Tiny bubbles.
Water in the bathtub?
If you hear like vibrations when you're around water, oh, now you're really. Yes.
Yeah.
Just
only
don't vibrate.
Water in the bathtub.
Yeah, don't vibrate in the bathtub. You might burn up and blow up. You might electrocute yourself. I didn't mean it that way. No, okay. Anyway, I digress. Anyway, back onto the topic. Yeah, exactly. And it's just sounds and different tones. Or another thing that I hear a lot, or not a lot, but I did, and sometimes I still do, is light language. It'll be like, imagine being in a car all alone. The radio is not on, and yet it sounds like a talk show's on really, 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 really low.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not. It doesn't sound evil or bad. It's just, that's called light language.
Oh yeah, I hear
Mm-hmm.
light noise and light language sometimes, but I don't hear water.
You don't, when the water's going, you don't pick up any. Okay, what about appliances?
I have appliances, yes.
Yes. Well, good. I'm glad that you're.
No, I can hear Janice's computer. Like with my tablet, it's such a small thing, but with Janice's computer, it's quite loud. Yeah, the sound of the fridge.
Totally.
The sound of the lights quite often. The sound coming off the lights. So yeah, I can hear stuff.
Yeah, I bet with you, because I hear the PC too, and you know you're not around one unless you're at Janice's. I take it, and I bet it's really loud for you when hers is just sitting there.
Oh my God, yeah, it's awful.
Yeah, definitely. And these are things that we're just more in tune with things like that, and also interdimensional. It's a way sometimes for Star Family and people to connect, and angelic beings to connect to us. It's not just archons and evil things that are coming through like that. There's all kinds of frequencies out there that you can pick up, and it's a matter of tuning into them, like we're doing with each other with all the synchronicity that we're having.
Yeah, but there's nothing evil coming through, because it can't be, because with me, like I just since with me, with not researching, I didn't know what archons were. I didn't know I didn't know anything about any kind of different.
Yeah, I know. I tried to get you to read them. Yeah,
I didn't know anything about it. Nothing about it. I knew nothing about awakenings. I knew nothing about ascension. I knew nothing about any of that stuff. And I wouldn't research it. No, I'm not looking into it. I'm figuring this out on my own. So I met the Pleiadians. I met the Arcturians. I met the there was two big Lyrans.
Maybe a Syrian.
Yeah, I saw two cat people, two big beautiful cat people.
Lyrans.
In my process. I knew about the Anunnaki, like that was kind of given to me or whatever, like something but it wasn't from an external source, because I didn't know any of these races or whatever, any of these families or whatever beforehand.
That's true. I can vouch for that.
So and I don't know if there's a big giant bird race, but I have a feeling there is, and I think that's my true family. But seriously, I really.
No, because I believe you. Scary thing is, I believe her, folks.
So with me, isn't it weird how I haven't had any negative experience with Greys? I haven't had any negative experiences with reptilians or dark psychic attacks, or why is that? Why is that? Probably
I don't know. It must
I
be
didn't know they existed, right?
It must be our strength. The reptilians tried me one time in a dream, and I jumped up and told them to get the F out, and then I've had 2 psychic attacks tried on me that I spotted and pushed away. So it must be the warrior within us, and yeah, they don't. All they do is stay in the background. They stay to their own. They're there, but they don't. They don't mess. If stay in your power.
Also,
Yeah.
Larry, the point I was trying to make about that is because I didn't know about them.
No, she didn't know about them, folks. I
I
tried to get
didn't.
her to read even just a few things, and she'd be like, "I'm going to stop you right there. No, nope, nope,
I know
nope,
I'm
nope."
such a bag.
I
Well,
couldn't
no,
get her to pay
because
her to do it.
okay, think about it. I was an infant. I was an infant, right? So
Yeah,
I had to raise I had to raise myself. So I wanted to make sure that, it was very important that all the information that I was receiving was coming from the highest source, my soul, my star, communication with my star families, source, right? So, so that's why I was very, very, very harsh with some people who just tried to say, okay, well, I think this is, and I'm like, no, don't even say it. Don't even say it, right? Like, because otherwise, like, if I would have started diving into research and if I would have started, hearing this and hearing about other people's experiences, then my experiences now wouldn't be fully my experiences because I'd have somebody else's that experienced, pretty well the similar or whatever, that I would base my experiences on. Either, okay, well, it's either good or bad because this person experienced this and it was terrifying for her. So I mean, I was, new, and then I was also in the process of, I had to face my fears and lose them. So damned if I was going to dive right in and start listening to all this, negative whatever, and then accumulate more fears that I'm just gonna have to lose, as so yeah, so I started out like totally new and just, like, literally like a baby. I'm going to be a year old on March 16th.
yeah, and you literally were really steadfast in that. You didn't want to hear it. I remember saying, yeah, I totally agree with you, but I remember I tried to get you. I said, okay, why don't you check out Leah's book, Comes the Awakening? Why don't you check out Barbara Marciniak's? Why don't you check out 12th Planet? Why don't you check out Chariots of the Gods? Some things like that. And you're like, nope, 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 nope. I mean, you were really just like, I mean, it would have taken you several suitcases full of bills to even consider it. You were really just like, nope, nope. No, there was nobody going to get you to,
Mm-hmm.
do that. And you figured it out, and it's strange. And these things all came purely through consciousness with you. Even some
Yeah,
of the names of these races. It's crazy.
yeah, yeah. Well, I've always had a direct line, right? Like, I come from a family that has, like, my pappy that had passed that passed away. When I was deep into the heroin and stuff, like, he would pray for me all the time, and just he'd cry because he was just, so afraid, and that he'd get the call that I was, OD'd somewhere. And he said to me, he prayed for me all the time. I said, Pappy, do you go to church? He goes, what the hell do I need to go to church for? He goes, I got a direct line with the big guy. And he talked to me a couple times about how when he was a young person working on the farm, a teenager or whatever, a young man working on the farm, halfway through the day, it was real hot, and he'd be all, he goes, how I got my energy together? And I'm like, no. He goes, I would put my hands together, and I would get a ball of energy. Oh my God, sorry, the alerts aren't turned off. I'd get a ball of energy in my hand, nice big ball of energy, and then I'd push it into my solar plexus, and that would be enough to get me through the day. And it's like, whoa, that's so cool. He didn't really
How
talk
in the
about that.
hell did he know how to do that and have the consciousness in his generation, much less now? Whoa, that is really strange.
I know, and he didn't really
Oh,
talk about that to a lot of people.
yeah.
But me and him, and then that really gross Pope that after Pope whatever was it, Pope Benedict? No,
The
remember
one
that
that
one?
wasn't around very long?
Yes, yes. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
I
you know what my
wrote
pappy
your old
said to me?
notes. But yeah, what?
My pappy said to me, what do you think about the new Pope? And I'm like, oh, Pappy, no, he creeps me out. And Pappy says, I think that he's Hitler's incarnate, or the devil himself. That guy's an evil SOB. So I mean, my Pappy, he's ascended now, but he was highly, highly empathetic, empathic or whatever. He was an alcoholic. He didn't, he was hard for him to be around a lot of people. He felt so much. But yeah, I wish I would have had the opportunity to talk to him more about, stuff like this. But yeah, he definitely, he's an amazing man. And then my mom, she's always had the ability to heal. Like, what, she's lay her hands on people and make them feel better. And I got that, I got that trait, I picked that up where I was born with that as well. And then my son, he could, but he's not there yet. But okay, I don't remember what I was saying. No, and I'm off. Larry? Larry? Oh no, did your computer die? Larry Locken. Great. This happened in the pre-show. Had to reboot the computer. Larry. Okay, well, I have no idea what's going on, or even if we are on the air or anything. Lovely. Am I still on the air? Or? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. No, you're not coming. No. Okay, thanks. Well, just talked to Larry on the phone. He's having some technical difficulties here. So, sorry. So you can find me at Pacific Northwest Pleiadian, Canadian Pleiadian. Oh no, there's main Pleiadians. There's another one, but I don't remember what it's called. Larry adds me to, oh my gosh, he's added me to so many groups. It's crazy. And then he sent my friend Janice a friend request, and she accepted. She doesn't even talk to him, and she wants to strangle him. He goes group happy. Hello? Okay, well, anyway, he goes group happy, and yeah, so, okay, he should be back in a second here. I don't know what the heck he's doing. Must be those damn dark forces. Dark Maul. Okay, Larry Locken. Oh. And you can find Larry on his timeline. I'd urge you all to go to his timeline and just share whatever you like with him, because he really likes that. Comment on his profile pictures. Okay, Larry. Hello. Hello.
Hello, it's me.
Oh my gosh.
I know what the hell's going on. Oh yeah, thanks by the way while I was going out. Thanks for giving me that sweet vote of confidence. Yes. Well, I'll quit doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give myself a shameless plug. I only need about 220 more friends, and Facebook won't allow me to have any more. So,
Larry.
If you want Larry to quit doing that,
Larry.
friend me.
I was just teasing with you.
I know you were. I'm glad consciousness. I'm glad you brought that up because, one, Janice, we really need you on the show to do that body talk show, and two,
Yes.
220 more friends to get to 5,000. Then I'll be done bugging people. Okay. So where were we? We were talking about everything from anything and everything, but nothing at all. Yes, we were talking about ascending and being a starseed. And okay, so what were we talking about in that other now moment that's not now?
Um, we were talking about the physical. We were talking about not feeling like we belong here, a sense of home. Home is in your soul. We were talking about our bodies changing. A lot of us are awaking more rapidly now. And that's one thing I didn't touch on yet. I believe that gone are the days of the gentle, gradual awakenings. I don't know what that's even like. I mean, I know some people who were kind of, it's been a gradual, gentle thing over a course of a few years. I think that now more and more people are going to be kind of picked up and shaken up and unplugged, kind of the way I was. So,
And you were, they better get ready because I was part of that first gentle class that got it good.
mhm.
And then you came in, got hit by a year. These people are going to get it shaken in a few months. So,
Oh yeah, yeah. It's brutal. It's brutal. It's brutal. But I think that I think that there's going to be a lot more walk-ins as well. I think a lot more. I think there's going to be a wave of walk-ins coming up very shortly. I think that because
that resonates with me. But yeah, going, that really resonates what you just, yeah,
mhm.
feel that.
I think that because the process with me was like really rapid and really intense, and it's still really intense, the physical and everything. It hasn't even been a year yet. My God, all the changes, like even just even the physical changes. It's just the shape of my face and everything. Like, and I mean, that's like to hear your to feel your skull changing and your ears changing, and it's just it's harsh. You get clicking and cracking and popping in your head, and it's just really really harsh. But yeah, no, I feel that yeah, gone are the days of the gentle awakenings. I think people now that are waking up, like I know this one person is ever since I connected with them, they seem to be very connected to me and my energy, and they're going through like pretty well, just as harsh as I was in the beginning. So
Raquel, it's not
yeah,
that, not that clown you were talking about earlier, is it?
no,
Okay, good. Because
yeah, I did.
an average Joe. But anyway, yes, but it's a trip. These people are going through it quick, and it's like they're getting caught up by it. Like, okay, it's just like bada boom, bada bing, and it doesn't end for them, and they're like their world is just spinning right now.
hmm Well, it's really intense, but I don't know. Like for me, I had no choice but to, like, the way it went down is like there was a lot of anxiety, and there was a lot of, okay, oh my God, yes, I'm dying, and then there was like accepting the fact that I was dying, then being okay with it. Then there's very painful things I experienced, then very beautiful things, and it's still the most important thing is to have faith and just have complete acceptance on everything. For me, I just, I had complete acceptance on, like, part of ascension, part of enlightenment is accepting death. Now, I was going to make a post about that, but I knew that accepting death, people were going to have a hard time with. But
So
you have to accept your death because every aspect of you is dying, right? And with me, why can I hear myself?
it keeps clicking. I'm almost thinking though, it'd be funny to see if you did post that. Let's see how many people make a comment without even reading it and just see the death part and go, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, no,
no, like, and that was really true with me because I had to accept my own death because I went through the physical death process. And quite a few, like I said, 911 was here a few times, and and it was when the first time it happened, my heart wasn't beating, I wasn't breathing, but yet I could hear something and feel the energy coming closer and closer. But I had my eyes closed because if it was death, I didn't want to see it. Um,
I think
and and I lied there, and my body was just dead meat.
yeah,
My blood wasn't flowing. My body was cold. It was dead meat. And then I was able to move again, and I got up, and I thought, oh my God, like, that's scary. Like, what is happening to me? I had no idea, because I didn't know anyone that went through the same thing.
You
And
sounded
then,
like you were having growing pains while on a bad LSD trip to me on the phone.
oh, it was harsh. And this was like, with no drugs. So, and then after it happened the first time, then it happened, the second time it happened, I figured, okay, well, I guess maybe just, maybe death gave me a chance to maybe get some, some of my clutter out of the way, and let me, write some last notes or whatever. And so it happened again the second time, and then I just yelled, "This is bullshit! What is this? Like, if you're going to take me, just take me. Like, what are you doing? I don't understand." And then after the third time, and it was like, at that point, it was kind of like, okay, whatever's happening is happening. I'm just going to chill. Yeah, I'm not breathing. My heart's not beating. I've been through this before. I'm just going to chill. And I just chilled, and that stopped. So I haven't went through it. Hopefully it won't happen again. But if it does, well.
Yes, you're doing that clicking and clacking right now. For some reason, it does that every now and then. That I thought maybe you were mixing a record, because you're that versatile in the background too.
No.
You're composing a record. Yeah, but exactly. And some of those nights, it's just like, you know what? And I think I even told you. I think that I told you. I said, look. I said, if that's really going to happen to you, and they're coming to get. I mean, think of how phenomenal. That's how I dealt with it a little bit. I try to get a hold of my mind and think, well, God, how phenomenal would it be, though? I'm taken away. I mean, even if it was a bad thing, I mean, you look how elite, you'd go down in history.
Oh yeah. Well, you've seen the pictures of Jesus being abducted or being taken away by the ship, right?
Being ascended, it was, yeah, going back home in the ships. Yes, of
Yes.
course.
I love
Elijah
Jesus.
in the Bible. Elijah ascended in that Pleiadian ship and almost blinded Elisha, his assistant. Yeah, of course, and that's who Jesus was talking to up in the mountains. In my opinion, it was those extraterrestrials. It wasn't somebody in the cloud playing a harp. Well, though it could have been.
Are you still there, or are you gone again?
No, I'm here.
Okay. So yeah. Oh, another thing I should mention. I'm just going to go ahead and say this, because there's got to be someone. Remember, I was telling you about what I was experiencing with my wrists?
Yes.
Should I mention that?
Yeah, go ahead. Might as well.
Okay. Okay. Well, for a while now, okay, to connect to the Christ consciousness, it's not something that I set out to do. There's periods, there's times when I will just be still, and I can feel feel the love, feel the compassion, feel the understanding, feel the acceptance, feel the it's just it's that's what I like. That's what the Christ consciousness is, to me anyway. It's everything that Christ embodied, and in that moment, that's exactly what you are. But I've had, and I still have it, and my mom's witnessed it and freaked right out, where my arms will just lift right up to my side, and it feels like I've got nails in my wrists, and it's so excruciatingly painful. And my arms will just be out there for quite often they'll be like right over my head. Well, you know that I've got the sudden guided movement, the goddess dances, all this weird stuff happening with my body, right? It's like I'm a marionette, right? Like the universe is just, and it's effortless too. Like to just, my arms will just lift up, whatever. It's I don't even think about it. But yeah, there's been times where my arms, I feel the physical pain of crucifixion. Like, we've all been crucified. We've all been crucified, as far as being abused for so long, being killed over and over by people being mean and taking and hurting us and ostracizing us. So that emotional crucifixion is over for us now, right? But yeah, I have I go through, I still go through the physical pain of crucifixion. So I was hesitant to post that in a group, because that's just downright I mean, I don't how do you do that, right? But I guess I just did here. So I'm just the only reason why I mentioned it is because I know there's got to be someone, there's going to be someone that's experienced the same.
Oh, totally. And the best way, Raquel, is to do it like you just did over voice, so people can get that feeling.
Yeah.
and not hear it, you see it in a text in a chat, or on the groups, and then maybe just read one or two words and form their opinion already.
Yeah.
It's just like when I'm posting N5D's articles. It's like some people will comment right away, and it's like, I know that Evelyn Wood couldn't even read that quick, and they like give an opinion. Well, I think this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Okay, well, good, that's cool. Well, gee, I hope you like the article. If not, fine. I really don't care if it resonates with you. Cool. If it don't, cool. It's all cool.
Yeah, and also, I'd like to say, excuse me, if I can stop coughing. Also, I'd like to remind people, if something doesn't resonate with you, then this goes, for the groups and stuff. If something really doesn't resonate with you, just pass on by it. Pass on by it, right? Like if you can't be amicable, and if you can't be kind, and if you can't be polite, then if a post isn't for you, pass on by it, right? You're free to do that. You're free. I mean, obviously, we want to hear what everybody has to say and everybody's feelings on everything, but things can get really, really heated because of differences of opinions. So I just don't like to, I just don't like to see people, putting people down and being mean to people, because, like, I know with me, I made a post and someone said, oh yeah, well, maybe you should stop taking those drugs or whatever. It's kind of like, I said to him, you know what? You don't know. You don't know. So please do not criticize what you cannot understand, right? Because that will prevent, like, if somebody is really trying to come out of their shell and they're experiencing something and they really, want to share it, they share it, and then they get bashed by someone. Do you think that they're gonna share again? No, that's gonna put them right back in their shell, and they're not going to. And it's so important, because we have to speak about our experiences. We have to, because there's always going to be someone out there that needs to, that understands, or that they could use that information, or at least can say, hey, oh my God, me too, and you said it, oh my God, and that person doesn't feel alone anymore.
And those are such resonating moments, and it really doesn't do us any good to go get involved in an argument where, hey, Raquel, let's argue for a day. You say it's red, I say it's maroon. You say it's red. I
Well,
mean,
that's just ego. That's just ego.
just go on by those posts. I mean, it's the point now where it's like we don't even see them sometimes because of the vibration of them, and it's like people get in there and just want to argue their point about why do you think you're going to change somebody's opinion? I mean, oh yeah, it's maroon, it's red, it's not maroon, Raquel. It's a deep indigo, it's not purple. But then again, it could be. Did you fade away?
No, I didn't fade away.
Or you never fade away. You're there. So I mean, so this is all just food for thought, and I'd be curious. What's exactly on your mind right now? Do you have anything? What's on your mind? Spill it in this second.
What's on my mind? I don't want to say.
Okay, if it's first, is there anything group related? You know what one thing is, and I said I wasn't sure I was going to bring it up or not, but I'd like to recommend other admins out there too, as well as well, anybody really. I mean, there's a lot of false accounts being created right now, and shoved in the groups, and why that is, I don't know. Who knows? Don't really know. Don't really care. But the point being is to be vigilant for it, and look, and it's pretty easy to spot, really, if you just go in and look at somebody's account. Elle has her way of doing it. The other admins do, like, because I used to be a big sports junkie. I'll look right to the side and see if it's a guy liking some sports teams. I mean, if he likes the Dallas Cowboys, Manchester United, the Los Angeles Lakers, and LeBron James, Jay-Z, and Beyonce, and has 11 followers and 2 friends. Well, there you go. And their account was started 2 days ago. But it isn't even that. It's just kind of strange. And I just wanted to remind everybody to be on the lookout for it, because I know, Raquel, it was something we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. Also, it's unfortunate, but be cautious, even on your own Facebook page now, because it's getting to the point where I've had people, like, I mean, I get friend requests from strange men all the time that I've got no friends in common with, or else only one friend in common with. Also, you can check out their page quickly, and you can tell right away if they're on the same, level as you, or if they're, or not. I've had people, even on my personal page, I've had people create my friends list and just go in and send friend requests to all. And then because that happened with this one person, all of a sudden, like, I became friends with her because it was in the group. And then all of a sudden, within just a couple days, we had over 250 mutual friends. And me and Sif, I think, have maybe 150 mutual friends now. And that took a while, to happen, right? But with this one person, it was just kind of like, whoa. So, yeah, it caused problems for my other friends. So I just I got to change my privacy settings on my page, and yeah, just be be very cautious and be very careful, because for some reason now more than ever there seems to be a lot of fake accounts, a lot of a lot of undesirable people coming out of the woodwork.
A lot of undesirable energy. It's a very, you know what, and I hate to say it, like, I don't want to try to sound sexist or anything, but I always worry about the female, admins and their targeted more. It seems like yes, I mean, people pray they're more of a mark. I mean, I know it happens with a lot of the Goddess Starseed admins. You guys get these request after request after request from people from, I mean, and you can just tell, it wouldn't even matter what it said. You guys just are so innately know that it's fake or phony or a dark, an energy you don't want to vibe with, So you just really do got to be careful out there.
Yeah, well, and also, being an admin in such a large group, and then the regional groups too. I get friend requests from group members all the time. And that, we kind of got to accept them, right? Even if we don't really know that person in the group or whatever. So you accept them, and there's been quite a few times where I've received message. Well, I receive messages all the time from people, men, and it gets to be way too much sometimes. Like, I just had to block a lot of people, and there could be a day where things are going well, and everything's fine, and then I'll get like 3 or 4 messages in a row from different men, and it's kind of like, just leave me alone, right? Like, and I know that my sisters, right, are a few of them are experiencing the same thing too, right? So it's not a pleasant thing, but I get so many messages, I don't really see a lot of them anyway, and even when I do receive the alert for a message, I can feel the energy behind it before I even go into the message. So quite often I don't even go into the message, right? But it can be really stressful, and also it's not a nice part of the job or whatever, right?
Yeah, I can feel it too. I have about a 90%. With me, it's about a 90 to 92% accuracy rating with knowing already. And then sometimes surprised, but about 90 to 92% of the time, I just know it. I know it right away, So exactly, you just really have to be careful. And, it's just really puzzling, because these energies that are coming, and, you see all these men, and it's whoever's behind it. It's like a racial thing too, because people are all the same throughout the world, but these fake accounts a lot of the times will be of guys from, lo and behold, of course, in North America, from the Middle East, and it's like, not really like that over there. They're like you and I, but there's some kind of racial divide. I don't know what it is, but it's just weird. I mean, and it just, all you can do is just be vigilant and take it now, moment by now, moment now, situation by now, situation on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think covered a lot of ground on this, well, not so late night where we're at out here on the West Coast. But do you have, is there anything else pressing on your mind before we wrap this really big show up?
Um, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think, yeah, we touched on everything that we needed to, and we just, we'll be here and you'll hear us again, and whenever we feel like talking and giving our thoughts, or when we feel it, because we come on when we feel it. I know, like Raquel will message me and say, I'm getting these impressions, and I'll be like, yeah, me too, and maybe it's, it's time we go on and talk about these things. And we're not getting paid to do it. There's nothing in it for us. We just want to interact with everybody. This is everybody's chance, and we would encourage anybody out there too. Raquel and I would love for somebody just to be our first guest that we can ever. We had Victoria on, and she does shows too. But if there's anybody from the groups that doesn't normally ever come on, you're more than welcome to come on with Victoria and I, or any combination of us that you might hear do shows on here. So we just want to wish everybody much love out there and in the groups. And there's too many count. Is there anything specifically though, Raquel, that you want to plug? Any of the groups or anything?
Well, I want to say hi, give a shout out to Joe Stevens. Green Dragon Tavern is his group, and it's a pretty awesome group. It's a funny group. It's really, it covers a lot of stuff. It's yeah, check it out. Joe Stevens, Green Dragon Tavern.
Absolutely great group. I'm in it too. And you know how, like on Cheers, sometimes you want to go where everybody knows you're lame.
Yeah.
You're lame, and it's cool there because it's okay if you're lame. It's all good. It's all in one now moment and situation. But on a closing note, I just wanted to send a lot of love to everybody out there. Much love to N5D, Michelle Walling, Greg Prescott, Leah Shapiro, Alien Tribe, of course, Victoria, Sif, you, Kiki, Bridget Rao,
Sarah.
Sierra Morris,
Luke.
Luke LaBelle.
I am your father.
Yes, I am your father and your brother and your sister and your mother and your brother too. Okay, well, maybe not all that, but just send lots of love out there. Reiki group, Twin Flame group, like Raquel said, Pacific Northwest Pleiadians. And by the way, you can, besides her timeline, you can see Raquel's face at Pacific Northwest Pleiadians and Canadian Pleiadian, as well as an admin in the big mothership group and admins and groups that I've got her in. She don't even realize she's an admin in right now. Her and Joe are kind of working on the Pleiadian Southwest thing down there in the dusty desert, yes, on the cyber desert. So just check us out. We got over 25 regional groups, and if we're not here, we're there, but we're everywhere and all in one now moment. And Raquel, I think that's a wrap.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. All right. This is how they should end coast to coast. Go hell, go away. Bye.